There's an old man I know lives down the road from me a little ways, a dirt road. And his name is Hezekiah. And he's old. I don't know how old he is. He's old. But he told me this story. I wrote it down. The story goes that the three wise fellers came from the east. They don't say if they come from the east part of the county, from a couple of counties over, or where. I heard tell once those wise fellers probably came all the way over from India, which certainly makes for a better story. Supposedly these fellers gathered up all the smart folks in the land, and between the stargazers and astrological and fortune teller types and the Ouija board readers, they came to the conclusion that something great was going to happen over to the west of them. And so they set out to find it. Now you think about that. Bouncing all the way over from India to Bethlehem, riding the whole way on a humpback mule. They couldn't have made no more than about 20 miles a day. That means they must have bumped along for the better part of a year, if not more. They couldn't have really known where they were going. In the end, they relied on a special star to find their way to that special something they were looking for. Now, if you was to tell anyone you was going to waltz out across the desert for a better part of a year or more looking for something in a town that you didn't even know the name of, they'd see about having you put away. But these three fellers set out, following the advice of sages, and seers, and fools. You know, there's a lot of folks in churches nowadays who'd call these fellers and their advice givers heathens, even though they understood something a lot of us have kind of lost sight of. You see, they set out with something called hope. You know, it must have took a pile of hope and what they're looking for to make them want to go that far to find it. And you think of the faith them boys must have had. To keep it going mile after mile, day after day, week after week. All on account of seeing some special something in a land far away. And you notice it wasn't a whole passel of wise fellers. It was just three of them. I'll bet you $1 that most of their friends were probably looking up the local straitjacket expert. And these three fellers give them the slip by leaving at night. And you're saying, Hezekiah, what is the point of the story? Well, the three wise fellers had a hope in something they couldn't quite get their hands on. And they had the faith to set out looking for it, believing they'd find it if they just made the journey. Of course, you got to add in that they must have been right stubborn to keep after it all that time until they got there. But shoot, we're hard pressed to have much hope in anything anymore. There's any number of things about life and living that fairly beats the hope and faith right plumb out of us. Maybe the reason we don't find more special things in life is because we've forgotten how to hope for them. And we ain't laid in the faith it takes to pursue them. And even if we had them qualities, we might not be willing to make the journey it takes to get us there. And I don't mean we got to go trotting off on some funny-looking donkey to go on this trip I'm talking about. The hardest journeys to take are the ones that are right inside. And I don't necessarily think that doing something everybody says is crazy will make us a wise feller either. But I ain't so sure but that the most important journeys we could make wouldn't be viewed as plain nuts by most folks. Somewheres there's a great thing for everybody. Study up on it. Hope for it. Have faith you'll find it. And set out after it. And if the thing you're hunting is great enough, then you'll be a wise feller in the end for finding it. Don't forget that out of all the folks who probably talked about the idea of setting out on that journey, following a star to see that little child, the ones we talk about and the ones we remember are the three wise fellers who made the trip. I sure have enjoyed being with y'all. Thank you for being here with me.